Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. Today we're trying on a bunch of new makeup. These are items that are new to me. I don't believe they're new to the industry, as far as I know. So first up we have here, sent to me from What's Up Beauty, an indie makeup company, indie makeup brand. This is their eyeshadow palette, Desert Monsoon. I will be using these shades to create an eyeshadow look. Along with the palette, they also sent over their makeup brushes. These makeup brushes are made in Japan, so they are fude. They weren't able to share with me where exactly in Japan they are made from, but still very nice of them to send these. So I will be trying them and of course using this palette. The eyeshadows from Desert Monsoon are made in Italy, assembled in the US, talc-free and cruelty-free with a shelf life of 24 months. Along with that, they also sent a handful, maybe 2 handfuls, of their nail polish. And these are, if I remember correctly, these are 9 free, so they're free of 9 commonly found chemicals in nail polish. And I just want to say, this shade here, can you see the gold specks, glitter, just sparkling, glistening here? I'm very interested. I am not, recently anyways, I don't wear nail polish, but I would love to try some of these colors for holiday, you know, just a special kind of season thing. So I'm gonna hold on to these and I'm definitely gonna give this shade a try. So this color is Desert Rose, and then the other kind of duochrome color is Sun, and then we have, you know, this timeless nude shade is Joshua Tree. Well, if I'm reading the colors, I might as well go through all of them. This one here that's a bit berry-like is Tempest. Then we have also a glittery purple, Succulent. And the last one here, beautiful, Downpour. For foundation, I have from Orce. This is their Come Closer Skin Perfecting Foundation. I asked for a shade that is out of stock. So they sent to me a shade lighter and a shade deeper than the one that I asked for. So I have Nove and Celine. I'll mix and match these two to see if we can get a good fit, but I'll also swatch them individually for you guys to take a look. Along with the foundation, they also sent over, I think this is new actually. I believe this is fairly new to the brand. This is their loose setting powder, so we'll give this a try. And then for lips, this is a sample from DIOR, but I was so excited when I got this because if you've seen my DIOR lipstick videos, you know that I always talk about wanting to try more of their metallic shades, and there is one included here. So this is 525 Chérie. It is metallic finish, but there's some other ones that I'm interested too, like 999 Velvet, such a classic color from DIOR. 100 New Look, which is a satin. I love nude pinks. And then another red here, 080 Red Smile, which is also satin finish. Oh, my bad. 100 Nude is matte. And then this one here, Red Smile, is satin. But we'll be trying the metallic today. Okay, so let's get some serum or primer on. I have a primer from SUQQU. This is their Treatment Serum Primer. And it is made in Japan with an SPF of 15. I don't know too much about SUQQU's skincare, but I know that they've been very consistently releasing kind of new products, serums, foundations, moisturizers, facial moisturizers, and the like. So this was included in my most recent SUQQU pre-holiday 2021 order, and so I'm excited to try this. So it does have a little bit of a tint to it, I guess, but it's pink. I think by the time it's all worked into the skin, we're not going to see much pigmentation. So it does give a bit of a glow to the finish, and it is rather light, so I can see if you apply too much, it could give you kind of a cast. So that's just something to be aware of. Okay, so we've got the primer on. Let's move on to the eyeshadows. I'm taking brush R103. Actually, I think they all have R, so I'll just call them by their number. Brush 103, and it looks to be a blending brush. And I'm taking Dust Storm and placing that on the lids. Next, I'm taking Tempest, and I'm putting that right here. This is very pigmented. I'm just placing it towards the center of the lid and just short of the crease here. Then I'm going into Cactus. Let's try a colorful look today. Cactus, I am placing that onto the outer corner. And the brush I used for both Tempest and Cactus is 106, and it is a paddle brush. Taking brush 102, I'm going into Canyon and deepening the outer corners just a little bit, and I'm working that shade into the crease. Going back into Dust Storm, just buffing out the seams. And then with a finger, I'm going into Desert Rose. It's a very pretty shade. And I'm placing that onto the center of the lid. And then going back into Tempest, I lost some pink that I want to showcase a little bit more. So I'm just adding it right here. And then taking Thunder, I'm using brush 101. And I'm just adding some of that on the upper lash line. I'm going to repeat everything on the left eye, then we'll come back for foundation. I have the shades Selene, which is 020, and Nove 040. And it is a pretty liquidy foundation. I'm going to take each of the shades and apply some, or a strip right here, to see how it matches up against the neck. So this is 02. It looks like it might be a really good match, actually. And then 04, just on top. Yeah, I think 04 is going to be way too deep for me, even in the middle of summer. I think 02 is close, but probably a little bit too light, or perhaps too yellow, like the tone. I'm neutral undertone, and I don't know that mixing 02 and 04 is going to neutralize anything, because I think we're gonna just end up, because 042 is you know, much more golden, and so I don't know if that's, yeah, I don't think that's going to neutralize anything. I think it's going to add more yellow to it. Why don't we try with just 02 and put this on the right side of the face. So this is 02 applied onto the right side, and a little bit goes a long way. This does feel like a serum foundation, but with a good amount of coverage. And I do think the tone is probably a little bit too warm for me, like a little bit too yellow. As you can see, the discrepancy between my cheek or my face and the neck. But let me add some right here to just hopefully get a better blend. And at this point, I don't think 04 is going to work at all. So let's proceed by putting, finishing up on the left side. Next, taking the Come Closer Perfecting Setting Powder, I'm going to set the foundation. And this setting powder is made with gentle skin loving, and I'm reading off the box here, skin loving ingredients like lustrous pearl extract, hydrating hyaluronic acid, and nourishing Evodiva. Rute carpa, I am butchering that. The formula helps to address common concerns for Asian skin like hyperpigmentation, moisture loss, oiliness, and signs of aging. And I didn't mention this at the beginning, but Orce is created by a Chinese-American entrepreneur. She saw a gap in the makeup industry where there really wasn't an American-owned brand that created makeup with Asian skin or Asian skin tones in mind, which is why when I read the description it says to address common concerns for Asian skin. So just so you guys know, I've checked out the website and I've read some reviews. I don't believe only Asians use this brand. I do recall seeing reviews where the reviewer had photos of themselves, and there were all kinds of people using the brand. So I think that's noteworthy too, because just because a brand was created with a certain ethnicity or people in mind, it doesn't mean that it's not suitable or can't be used by others. I think makeup that I've come to know is it's universal. Anybody can enjoy it. It's something you can play with. But anyway, let me get some of this setting powder onto the face. And here, I think this is kind of cool. It just has this dome shape, and I wonder if it was designed so that you can tap the powder into this and then dip a brush in it. I'm going to try that. Okay, that big fluffy brush made quick work of this powder, and I feel like I got some good coverage here. I would say if you plan to tap on powder like I did, definitely go light, because I now have too much, like way too much. It does soften the skin and does have a blurring effect. It's too early to say how it all feels, so let's move on to the other parts of this look, and then at the end I'll give you my thoughts once it's had some time to sit and settle into the skin. I'm applying 525 Cherie. For blush, I'm going to use DIOR's Nude Glide. This is part of their Birds of a Feather collection release. For highlighter, I'm using DIOR's Luminizer. This is from their Summer Dune collection, and this is Peach Dune. This is the finished look, and I must say I am impressed with What's Up Beauty's Desert Monsoon palette. Previously I used these three shades here, which was a good preview, but I was really looking forward to going into any of these shades. The deeper matte shades, these shimmers, metallics, really like Cactus, and the other Desert Rose, so let me just swatch those. So this is Cactus, this is Desert Rose, really pretty. And the way that Cactus has that gold reflex to it, just, I can see myself using that all over the lid. Actually, let me go back and add some of that onto the lower lash line. And then I'm going into humidity with my pinky and adding that to the inner corner. Now we have a more interesting look. And I do think these shadows overall are really nice. They're smooth, pigmented, easy to diffuse. Not every shade are as fine as, say, this green metallic. I think this is so smooth, but some of these, this shade here, Glow, I think it's a little bit chunkier. I think it can be smoother, but overall, I think for what you get from this, and being that it's an indie brand and what you pay for, the price, it's very fair. It's a good palette. The color story, when I first saw it, I wouldn't think, oh, you know, this is desert. But actually, desert vegetation, there are pops of color, and I think they're drawing inspiration from all of that. So you've got the earth tones, but also very functional shades to add depth to your look. To you know, I buffed out seams using this here. It could also be a base shade, but you've got some really fun colors as well and fun textures. So yeah, I really like this palette. So thank you to What's a Beauty for sending this over to me. For the eyeshadow brushes, they did the job, but I do think they have a little bit too much give, each one of them. And the durability, the way they retain their shape, I think it's going to become more challenging, difficult over time. So I don't know how much of a workhorse these brushes are. For example, this paddle brush here, I've used it quite a bit for today's look, and you can see it's kind of slanted this way. And I'm sure after you wash it, you can get it to shape back, but it does bring some concern on the, again, durability, the length of time these will be, you know, good to use for. They do get the job done. This brush I didn't use today, but I have actually used these brush for about a month now, kind of off and on, and I would mix it with like my Sonia G brushes, my Refer brushes, and I find that they are, you know, good to have on the side to complement when I need something to just really lightly blend out something or fluff out something. These will do the job because there's so much give. There's a lot of give, they're light, and if you actually, what they're good for is if there's a pigmented shadow and you're not sure how to approach it or how pigmented they really are, but it looks like it might be risky, taking one of these brushes, just testing the water, is what I've done too, and I think it works well. But as a standalone to create looks, I don't think these by itself maximizes the potential of this palette. So I do think that if I use some of my other brushes, I could get a more pigmented application and they would diffuse even a little bit easier, a little bit faster. So, you know, that is my, after trying these for a month and then using it only to create today's look, that is my review on these. For the foundation, now that we've had 20 minutes or so for everything to set, I do think it has really nice coverage. Seeing that how it kind of was very emollient, liquidy, I wondered how it would just end up sitting on the skin, but I think it has really good coverage. A little bit goes a long ways. I don't see the product really setting into any lines as I applied it on, and even now it looks good. My main feedback for the foundation is that being someone with neutral undertones, this has probably, it's too yellow for me. This shade here, 02, probably works, but you can still see the discrepancy. So I think 02, if there was a version where it was neutral undertones, it might be a perfect match for me. But still, I think it's a nice product. For the setting powder, it does give you a smooth, soft focus look, and I think it does pair well with the foundation. And it hasn't set into any lines that I can see, so that's also a plus. But I do think this powder, if you go too heavy-handed, it could add kind of a cast. And I am used to powders that are a little bit more fine, although once you start blending, there aren't really any issues. I think it just applies, it just has this, like it's kind of heavy. It has that feeling that's kind of heavy. So it might take you to do more blending, but also going in with a lighter hand. I felt like I had tipped too much product into the lid of the setting powder. So I'd like to try it again next time and just go a little bit more light hand and see what that feels like. Last thing about the Orce products is that they are made in the States with a shelf life of 12 months. So thank you, Orce, for kindly approaching me and sending these products. I love this glass bottle packaging. It's very luxe. And then even the setting powder has this component here. You open it, it's nice and gold, really fits with the aesthetic of the brand. And I do think the more I look at it, I do think you're supposed to, or you can put the powder in here, just because, I mean, look at this lid, how big it is. So finally, for the lip color, I think this is a pretty color, but it's not for me. It's not my go-to color. I don't think it really accents any, brings out anything, really complements me. I can see it looking really nice on others. I do like this metallic finish. The metallic finish, I feel like I've hyped it up a lot, but the metallic finish is actually very subtle. There's nothing chunky about it. You have to kind of look up close, and it's the way the light hits it that gives it away, that it's a metallic finish, but it's rather light. And let me show you the other metallic shade I have from Dior. It is 212 Tutu, and I must say I enjoy Tutu more than Cherie. This, you can see the silver like metallic finish when you move around, and because it's a neutral shade, it's kind of unsuspecting, but when you move and when you're talking, you see that reflective quality to it. I think that's more interesting than this shade here, to me. That's a personal preference. So that is everything that I've tried on today. Let me know below if you are interested in these brands, or if you've tried them yourself. I'd like to get your thoughts. So thank you guys for watching. See you again in the next one. Bye.